Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. Naturally, you think of security systems when you hear that name, but J.J. Surlis and the team over there, they are the best in East Tennessee in terms of audio-visual equipment. They install it for homes. They can install it for your business. They've done 3D projector systems in this town that will blow your mind. Safety Systems. Check out their website to learn more. All right, we go to the Safety Systems scoreboard. Chuck Cavaleris is over there. I haven't tallied everything, so we'll allow. Oh, you have tallied.
Yeah, yes.
Look at that, Chuck.
Yeah. How's my game management?
That's outstanding. Great game management. All right, let me start with Daniel Hood. Here's what he said. He sent this in to me. He said, I want straight fives for every player position because the players did enough. The asterisk is for coaching in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
So that is his grade for those who might be wondering. Chuck, I'll let you start. Does anything stand out to you over there?
Well, I think David Ligon made a very astute observation for wide blocker U. It's no longer wide receiver U. It's wide blocker U. Correct, David?
That's right.
People who are watching us this spring will remember, we brought it up in the spring, brought it up in the summer, asked, isn't it a little too soon to be talking about wide receiver U? I know it's a recruiting tool, but boy, that is coming back. You know, that chicken's come home to roost in terms of the wide receiver U talk. Jimmy, your thoughts on your grade, or explain some of your grades to us.
The one where I'm a little different is on the quarterback, and Dobbs made a lot of really good plays in that game. I dinged him for a couple of reasons. One, that key fumble that he had. Secondly, he missed Josh Smith wide open down the sideline, which could have been a very big play. And third, you showed the numbers. I didn't think he threw the ball well until basically that fourth quarter drive. His numbers weren't very good. He can play better than he did. He did some good things, did a lot of good things, but he's got to be a bigger key in that passing game being successful.
That's a 5 for his legs and a 1 for his arms.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. And Bob Hodge noticed also, didn't get a chance to say it, he felt that he wasn't carrying out his fakes on the zone read at some points throughout that game, that he kind of let up on that area, which is part of that offense. All right. Anything else stand out there? Jacob, you didn't put any numbers up there, so you can be an objective opinion. Too high, too low? What stands out to you?
No, I mean, if you're graded on player performance, I think the total averages kind of, work out pretty much as you can see them over there. I mean, the players played the game to win, and in my opinion, they won the game, and some coaching decisions kept us out of that.
How do you two guys, the former offensive linemen, David and Jacob, how do you two guys look at the performance from the O-line yesterday? They had periods where they were opening some big holes, and then that all went away. When Florida started bringing an 8th guy into the box and stuff, awfully hard to run against that. But there were times when they opened it up the middle. You still had some issues when you went to the sides, but up the middle they opened some gashing holes. How do you grade the offensive line's performance?
You know, I was rough on them. I gave them a 3. I thought they did well. The reason I did give a 3 is, late in the game, final drive, false start on the road. Look, you got to have better, mental discipline than that. There were some busts. They gave up sacks. I'll give you 1 for a year, but we've already had plenty enough on this line. So I was rough on them, but I did think they played well. Being on the road in Gainesville, that's a tough place to play.
Jacob?
The Swamp's definitely a hard place to play, and if I was to grade them, I'd give them about a 4. I know that's not a grading thing we use on the show.
Yeah, we make it tough.
Early on, we were shocked kind of by the Swamp. Gave up some early sacks in the first couple drives, but they did open some great holes. We ran for a ton of yards, and I know some of those were scampers by the quarterback, but I think with our run blocking progressed to a point where we need to now focus on pass blocking and really blocking the 6th guy.
Sterling, I'm looking up there. You give a 3 to special teams.
I give it 3 to special teams just because it's a hard 3. Because I wish I could have gave him a 4, but I wish we should have made that field goal. I think Medley is a good enough kicker to make that. But he's good enough, man. He's good enough. He's just got to get some more performance on the field to make that kick. He really
Pearl,
is.
he's never tried a field goal over 50 yards, man, and it's to win the game. It should never come down to that.
Chuck, he never had to.
But the line didn't make it easier on him by moving it back.
No, they didn't.
That's true. And there should have been a 5-yard penalty on Florida. On the first kick, they had 12 men on the field, and once you break the huddle with 12, even though they did call timeout, you should have had the flag, so it should have been 5 yards closer. I don't know if the yardage makes a difference on that one, second one though, because it's wide. And it didn't look like it was spinning out. It just kind of started wide and stayed wide.
When he kicked it, I thought it was going to hook in.
I thought it was going to hook in too.
But it stayed straight and you missed it by foot.
Yeah. Jimmy, anything from anybody else? Anybody you want to pick on up there? They got some ones from David and from Chuck on the
On the wide
receivers.
receivers. I bumped their grade up a little bit because I thought they blocked well.
Yeah.
That's where I went with them. They didn't do a good job of getting open, and Von Pearson dropped a pass, but I thought their blocking was pretty good.
All right, very quickly, Chuck, I'll ask you about the defensive line. Florida had 3 freshmen out there, and there's a lot of thought that, wow, they're freshmen doing so well, but they're going against a lot of your freshmen and sophomores on the defensive line. I thought the absence of Kurt Maggitt and Barnett when he was out for a little bit was huge.
Oh, it was, but there's still, we talked about this some, there still should have been some things you can do to take advantage, especially the left guard of Florida. There were some things there that you could have done defensively to get to the quarterback, and that made a huge difference in the impact of the game.
All right, very good. Appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to answer some of your questions. We had a bunch from last night. I know we've got some coming in now. If we don't get to them during the show, we're going to try and get to them in overtime. That is next on the Sports Source.